thinking a lot about the personal leadership model project and how I wanted to approach explaining my leadership values and styles and how that connects to what I do with my job. What it comes down for me is my personal values and my leadership values and styles are connected. So for me, the number one value I have for my work and personally is relationships. Relationships for me are really important, and I try to go into every situation thinking about that. Humor is a big one and something that I need on a daily basis for the kind of work that I do, as well as empathy, adaptability, and mentorship. So those are values that I carry with me each day, and as I become more of a leader in the agency, I hope that I can highlight those even more with the folks that I work with, folks that I work for, and the folks that work for me, as well as when I'm on assignments in other areas. So I did decide another way to approach this would be to ask some other folks who have worked closely with me in different situations to talk about what they see as my leadership strengths, leadership values, and so during this video project you'll get to hear from some other folks as well.
So tell me a little bit about Suzanne and what you know about her leadership.
Suzanne takes her job very seriously. She's one of the only people I've ever known who has her children help her with her job. I remember her telling me a story about putting together flashcards of members of Congress so that she could look at their faces and look at their names and memorize what state they're from. Kind of like the flashcards you used to have for learning state capitals. She did flashcards for learning members of Congress. And she became very good at it to the point where she would recognize people in airports and run up to members of Congress and introduce herself as Suzanne Flory from the Forest Service and talk to them. She would recognize people on the Hill, and as Tony Ferguson and I would go do Hill visits with Suzanne, Suzanne would just turn around and go, "Shh, look, over there, there's a member of Congress," you know, and it just looks like some guy to me. But she would recognize who they are and then drag us over there to talk to them. So I appreciate Suzanne's dedication to her job.
So Suzanne's leadership, I gotta say, when I first arrived here in the region from out west, Suzanne was one of the first phone calls I got. She's all about the relationship. She's making sure that we were gonna be working together well, introducing herself. It's been really good, and now we're tied at the hip on everything. And in fact, we've done so much work together that you know it's almost a little weird sometimes that we're reading each other's minds. I will say Suzanne has always been good about involving people in things. So the last time we were in DC, she involved me in Hill visits, just drugged me along with that, and you know, got me involved even in some dangerous things. Our leadership is that good, you know, taking me out and making me ride bird scooters in the dangerous streets of DC. And in fact, I believe she has video footage of her almost crashing hers. So, you know, her leadership is a really good thing, but can lead you into dangerous situations at times.
We know what your values are, and if there's something that is disturbing or you think is not consistent with your values, we're going to know. And, you know, that example of the fire in California where PIOs are being sent into an unsafe situation, and there was kind of a lot of groupthink about it, and everyone was just sort of going along with it, and you were the only one to say, "Hey, does anybody else think this is not okay? Because it's not okay with me." And everyone said, "Nope, it's not okay with us either." And you really, everything changed on a dime because you were able to express your feelings and express your values, and everything changed as a result of that.
With that, I do want to say one of the things that I always come back to is why I do the job I do and how it's tied to how I grew up and being around a grandpa that was a conservation officer, and that value of conservation and doing something for natural resources keeps me grounded and will continue to keep me grounded into the future.